Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while, I know, and I don't want to bother you with my excuses, but life happens and yeah, but I'm back. Actually, this pattern or this tutorial has been on my computer for like, I don't know, weeks, yes. As you can see probably in the video, I have long hair now, I've got short hair, I cut my hair. Anyway, so today I'm showing you this like loose trousers, tailored trousers pants, which I really like. I hope if you like them, if you want to make them, I hope you follow along. Yeah, follow along, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section. And very important, please, when you're taking your measurement, just make sure that you always leave ease. For me, I like my clothes to fit loosely. It's just my style, but however your style is, just make sure you always add ease to your measurements, because you can't add. So you can take away fabric, but you can't add fabric if your measurements are way too exact or way too short, if that makes sense. Yeah, follow along, and as you will see in the video, you know, the pockets of my pants, I actually used a lining before, and it just looked awkward, like as I was moving and walking, the lining would show, and my lining was lighter than the fabric, so I literally went in and took away the lining and used the same fabric for the pockets. So if you, just a little tip for me, maybe you want to do the same. I think it's just better, otherwise you would really have to make sure that, you know, the fabric really hides the other fabric properly. Thank you so much. Let's get into the video. Hi everyone, I'm just coming from the background with the voiceover because somehow the audio did not record. I don't know why. Anyway, hi. So I'm just altered my pattern as I'm showing you. Obviously I'm going for a baggy, loose fitting pants, so I added some centimeter on the sides and just, you know, altered my pattern. Right now what I'm doing, I'm just measuring the zip guard, or the length of my zip was like 6 inches, so I'm just marking that accordingly. And also I marked 0.7 centimeters, as you can see the tiny line right there. And from the 6 inches I added 0.5 centimeter. It's like, you know, a gap as well. And just parallel to that, I'm extending the zip, or the fly extension. I think mine was like 2 inches. You can make yours thinner or you can make yours wider, it doesn't matter. Also adding those seam allowances. So this part is the fly, so we're gonna have 2 parts for the zip. And right now I'm just also cutting the zip guard. So the zip guard is the part or the layer which covers the zip, so to say, and it's gonna be folded. And the zip guard is wider, so just add some centimeters to it. It's wider than the fly, it's longer than the fly, so add like, I don't know, 2 centimeters length to it. And also just make it a bit wide, don't forget your seam allowances. And from the sides of the pants I marked 3 centimeters and just joined to like above the hip approximately. And I'm just freestyling the pants. Like I said in the beginning, as you will see, I used a lining, so I had to make like lots of layers, lots of pieces, but if you're going for the same fabric, which I would highly recommend, which will make things easier, just go for the same fabric of the pants, and you only have, like, you know, the pants and then the pocket bag and the layer on top for it. So just fast forward to this. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comment section. I'll be able to respond. And also just make sure you cut the same pieces you cut. Don't forget to cut for the other leg. You know, because you've got two pieces. Right now I'm cutting at the knee, and where my dart was, I just drew like a straight line until the hem, and that's the grain line. So I'm just cutting that until the knee, and also I'm cutting a second line perpendicular to the dart line, to the grain line as well, but not so close to the pocket. Also we're cutting that, then we're gonna slash or spread the pattern paper, and we're gonna layer some paper underneath, obviously, and use masking tape to hold everything together. So the front leg again, we opened up, we sprayed, and on the dart I opened up by 5 centimeter, and also second line by 3 centimeter. I marked the middles, so I'm just gonna fold the pleat like that when I'm sewing. Yeah, so that's the front. And also I cut out all my fabrics already. I just prepped everything off camera, all the pockets, everything. So I sewed the back darts already. So that's the back piece, and I pressed down the darts. Always press down your seams, please, it's very important. Now I'm gonna go ahead with the front. So on the left side of the pant, so that's the left, on the right side that's the right side. So the left side we're gonna cut up that 0.5 centimeter. Now I'm just gonna make the pleats. So from the wrong side of the fabric, the big dart, now find the middle, pin it. So I'm gonna sew like 0.5 centimeter from the top, not the actual seam allowance, but a bit lower, just to keep this in place. Also I'm gonna prep these parts. So that's the part for the inside of the pocket, the one attaching to the main fabric on the outside. This one is the one like touching your body. Going for the pockets now, so I'm gonna start with this one, like the one on the outside. So that's the front trouser. I'm gonna take the right side of the pants. So that's the right side. And then take the left side of this piece and just attach them and sew. Turn the seam allowance to this part, so turn everything to this side and then top stitch. That's the top stitch, so the pocket won't come out. So we've got this attached, right? We have it sewed, top stitched, pressed down. So for me, I marked like the seam allowance. I always use 1 centimeter, and on the back I just drew the 1 centimeter seam allowance. And then also I would measure like 1 centimeter from the facing. So that way I'm just gonna fold this and then lay it on the 1 centimeter seam allowance just to keep it in place, and also lay this down until 1 centimeter from the end as well. So I'll attach the back, right sides facing together, and I'm gonna look for the notch of the hip, and then the front hip as well. Just make sure they align, and then pin that. That's how it looks like from the back. And then from the front side, that's how it looks like as well. So again, following the seam allowance, so I'm gonna align everything, make sure the notches match again on the knee, very important. So moving on with the fly, I want my fly to be like 6 inches, so I cut my zip up. I didn't have a shorter one. I just locked it up with the stitch there. Should be okay. So that's the facing, and that's the zip guard. For the zip, we're gonna turn it down, open it. I'm gonna start with my left hand, so leaving like my centimeter seam allowance there approximately. I'm gonna lay my zip somewhere there. So one more stitch just to keep the zip down at the end. So that's the fly sewn down. I overlocked the edges. Now we're taking the left side of the leg. That's just the wrong side of the fabric. We'll take the still the left part of the facing, and then right sides together. So the right side of the trousers, the one facing down, put these together, and I'm gonna sew down until like 0.5 centimeter from the end. Just gonna flip that and then top stitch. So now we're gonna take the both fronts and put the fronts together. So we're gonna sew the crotch a little bit. So basically take your front and I'm gonna just align my notches. Add a notch there and then also so we're just gonna sew this part. So what I'm gonna do now is just flip the pants around. So flip the left side. So I just used needle and thread, just went through a running stitch just to help me sew the design I want. Left side is done. Now we're gonna work on the right side. Again, the pants are on the right side of the fabric facing me. So it's gonna flip the zip. Again, gonna flip the zip on the wrong side facing the right side of the fabric, like that. And then take the zip guard, place it on there as well. Make sure it aligns with the fabric. Then let me take this pin, put that on top. Now I'm just gonna top stitch from the top. Zip all done. So now we're gonna work on the legs. So I'm just gonna pin left leg, front and back. I match the notches at the knee on both sides, and then I'm gonna sew the legs from the crotch. Each leg I'm gonna sew it up, and then I'm gonna serge it. I'm gonna overlock it. So now you're gonna assemble the pants together. So they're both on the wrong side, so I'm gonna turn one leg to be on the right side, like that. So one is right side, one is left side, and I'm gonna take this one on the right side, and then let's grab it by the crotch, then put it in the other leg, or take the crotches, yeah, and then pin. So what I will do is one seam goes one side, the other goes the other side. Pressed my pleats. So the first pleat is you know, the grain line where we notched the grain line. So from the pleat, I just iron the crease all the way to the bottom, and then for the second small pleat, I just iron maybe like, I don't know, until hip approximately. Okay, so now we're gonna do the waistband. So basically, you're gonna measure your waist. Also add 2 inches of the extension, the fly extension, and also you add seam allowance for the both ends. And what I would do is also maybe just add 2 centimeter ease. Always add ease. It's better you have more than you have less. More you can always cut off. So mine is on the fold, obviously. So I'm just gonna cut the fabric on fold, and then I want my height to be like 4 centimeter, the height of the waistband. So I did 4 centimeters, and of course seam allowance on both ends. So that's all added in there. And I prepped mine already. So of course your waistband has to be interfaced as well. So I just prepped mine. So here's the waistband sewn in the bottom. And I just overlocked my fabric. It's pretty, it's really fraying, so I don't want any fabrics to be picking through. That's why mine is overlocked. We'll start from the back of the trouser. So fold your seam allowance like that, and then kind of put it a bit lower than this line, like the seam allowance of the other one. Put it a bit lower like that, and then put a pin. We're gonna do the whole way from the back to the other sides. Fold your seam allowance a bit lower. So I pinned until about the extension. So we're gonna sew in that line, making sure that we catch the fabric on the inside. So we're almost done. That's how it looks like from the inside. The stitch, quite nice actually. So almost done. Just to end this off, so I'm gonna open this. So again, find those seam allowances, and then also find the middle. I'm just gonna sew like along this seam allowance, so to say. Back stitch. I'm just gonna turn over and see how that looks like before I cut anything out. That looks pretty decent, so I'm just gonna cut that out. So that way when we close the zip, that's how it's gonna look like. I'm just gonna make a rod hem. For me, I like my hem to be a bit big, so I'm gonna go like for 1 inch or 2 centimeters seam allowance, 2 centimeters hem folding. And then I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna do a button or a hook. So for now, I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna think about it. Added some hoops. I think they really add, like, you know, They add something to the pants, they just make them look more professional. I also added some tiny zigzag stitches here on the pockets to just like hold them in.